While we are still standing, we take the national prayer. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reign. Amen. Let's be seated, please. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, governors here present, let me welcome very specially members of the National Assembly here present. I'd like to welcome all the ministers here, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, service chiefs, our royal fathers, members of the diplomatic corps, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with national pride that I welcome all of you to this special presidential launch of the National Reorientation Campaign. In the evolution of Nigeria as a nation, there are milestones that has defined us as a nation. 1914, our amalgamation. October 1st, 1960, our independence. May 29th, our Democracy Day. But I think that today, September 8th, will also go into that same pantheon, because it's a significant day. It's Nigeria, our wonderful Nigeria the beautiful, starts a new journey. A journey for our country, a journey of rebirth, a journey of reform, a journey of reorientation, a journey that will begin to erect those values and ethos around which as a nation we can coalesce. Right now as a nation, we're experiencing intense fervor for recovery and revival, pointing to the fact that in coming years, as we begin to deepen the change mantra, will be the years of becoming. So today, as every Nigerian takes ownership of the change agenda, declaring with national gusto the changes in me, we build a bridge between the past and the present and fill ourselves with hope. Your Excellencies, today we walk towards the future with dignity, with integrity, with tolerance, with order, with discipline, with hard work and love for the nation. We find our safest refuge in the country called Nigeria and encamp ourselves in the fortress of national renaissance. We'll build a new nation as we deepen the change mantra. So Your Excellencies, is therefore with honor, national pride, and the fact that I love to be a Nigerian, that I'd like to welcome here the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Galba Barry, to step forward here and do a formal welcome. I welcome you.
President, my Lord the Chief Justice, Your Excellencies, distinguished senators and the honorable members, honorable ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure I welcome you all to the launch of the National Reorientation Campaign, Change Begins with Me. which is organized as part of efforts to synthesize and mobilize Nigerians, not only to realize that the change we seek starts with us, but also to understand that the society can only undergo a true change when everyone embraces positive values. The objective of the campaign is to address decay in our value system that stems from decline in our nation's core values, namely discipline, integrity, patriotism, dignity of labor, social justice, self-reliance, and religious tolerance. The campaign, no doubt, will herald a new set of acceptable attitudes and the behavior capable of taking Nigeria to greater heights. Let me use this medium, therefore, to call on all Nigerians to support the campaign so that the intended objectives will be achieved. We must all support this initiative, as today no aspect of our national life is not desirous of of a new beginning and a new orientation. The Buhari-led administration strategy in pursuing the change agenda is to make it citizens-led and citizens-owned. The cumulative effect of citizens exhibiting positive what will eventually lead to a changed society. The National Orientation Agency, with today's launching, will use its elaborate spread all over the country to take this message of change to all levels of society and all levels of governance. We shall engage the citizens directly at local government levels, use the print and the electronic media, and of course the social media to reach out to a large section of our population, which is the youth. These are some of the instruments we wish to deploy in order to take the message to where it is desired most. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege to warmly welcome you all to this great occasion. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, that's the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, with a wonderful, very dynamic team ready to take this from door to door and from person to person. Your Excellencies, it is a clear consensus that the future now emerging will be extremely different from anything we have ever known. There is no period of change that is remotely comparable to what we are now saying. And therein lies the opportunity for a national rebirth. If there's one man who understands this very clearly, it is the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture. It's therefore my honor and pleasure, Your Excellencies, to invite him here to present Alhaji Lai Mohammed.
Mr. President, Your Excellencies, the governors, members of the National Assembly, traditional rulers, religious leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my duty here today is to present in a multimedia format to Mr. President and the entire nation what our national reorientation campaign, Change Begins With Me, will look like. Permit me to quickly say that Change Begins With Me is a pan-Nigerian campaign that has no coloration whatsoever, whether it is political, religious, or ethnic. It is a campaign for all Nigerians with the sole objective of achieving a paradigm shift in the way we do things. The campaign's principle is simple. Each one of us must be the change we want to see in our society. Therefore, we will expect all the states of the Federation to partner with us, especially through the provision of airtime on their radio and television stations. This way, we can reach every Nigerian. In addition to being multimedia, the campaign will be carried out in all the major languages of the country. It will also leverage heavily on the social media and will be largely youth-driven. And now, Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press, it is my honor to present to you some aspects of our Change Begins With Me. Thank you very much.
Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Anywhere you are, turn on the light. The change begins with me. Though it might be tough, I'm not giving up. The change begins with me. From darkness to light, better already go there. Safety go there. Everything boku. Oh yeah, make we carry go. Nigerian change yo. One name is not the
Change begins with me.
message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
For a better Nigeria, we could change our ways. If we want change our lives, from top to bottom, man to woman, one person to another. Nigeria must to grow. Change begin with me, oh. Our future must to better. You get your part, I get my own. Everybody get your own. For a better Nigeria, we go change our ways. If we want change our lives, Nigeria go better, oh. Nigeria now we on,
This message now from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
My name na Kokori alias Beta Pikin. I don't come out Samsung for smuggling because it dey destroy we economy and contraband dey kill we people.
My name na Joshua Wariboko. Government property na my property, so I no go destroy am. Samsung.
I be Jide Johnson alias Clear Road for Jaga Jaga. Wo, I no go do agbero again because na togri all long.
My name na Bashiru Adisa alias Bouncing Beshi. I no go dey drink paraga and I go dey drive for one way again because change begins with me.
This message now from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Why don't you people sell imported materials here? As beautiful as the shop is.
Auntie, buying foreign goods does not help our economy. Neither does it boost local production. And the good thing is Nigerian-made products are high quality. And to make Nigeria great again, that is why I only sell made in Nigeria products. Because change begins with me.
I'm convinced. Change begins with me too. Change begins with me.
Change begins with me.
I'm a firm believer in Made in Nigeria because it helps boost our economy. I am proudly Naija.
I rock Made in Nigeria and I trust Made in Nigeria products for good quality. I will buy Made in Nigeria to grow the Naira. Change begins with me. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Can I see your particulars, sir?
Officer, my particulars no dey here.
In that case, you'll have to come with me to the police station.
Officer, which level? Where I for find you something make you take arrange your weekend.
What? Offense number 1, driving without particulars. Offense number 2, trying to bribe an officer of the law.
I won't harass Nigerians or take bribe. Change begins with me.
Oga, open your whole tank.
Hold on, please. Let me calm down.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hope you brought up your beauty.
Oh, Oga, we no longer tamper with our fuel dispenser because it is cheating and corruption. I will always sell fuel to all customers at the correct amount because change begins with me.
Nice one.
Yes, sir. How much, Oga?
Kilo.
with me.
Anywhere you are, turn on the light. The change begins with me. Though it might be tough, I'm not giving up. The change begins with me. From darkness to light, better already go there. Safety go there. Everything go good. Oh yeah, make we carry go. Nigerian change yo. One name is Africa. Oh yeah.
Hold it! Me, I don't commot my hand from oil bunkering.
General, what you gonna yarn? What did the yarn say? I don't understand though.
Because they spoil our water and our environment. And they cause our people serious harm. Militants say, me, I not do again Sam. Because why? Change begins with me.
Try this thing now. When you ready to collect lights? Come do on yourself now. Now wow. Come down now. Oga Kasali electrician will be look for this. Oh, Oga Kasali, come on help us fix this wire now.
Sorry, I no longer carry out illegal connection. It puts the lives of people at risk and can cause fire outbreak and disrupt power supply. I will never be part of anything that has to do with this any longer because change begins with me.
What you talk makes sense. When we could carry this ladder from over.
Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Anywhere you are, turn on the light. The change begins with me. Though it might be tough, I'm not giving up.
Chief. Good morning, sir. You are here already?
No, now my spirit there, my body there for house. What kind of question is that? Were you not the one that fixed this meeting for 8 a.m.? You are now coming by 10 a.m. and start asking me jab questions.
But Chief, now, I'm sorry. Don't you also go late for meetings sometimes? You know now, African time.
No more African time. And no more pancaking of face during office hours. At the end of the day, we will lose valuable time. We will not make progress. If we want to move this nation forward, we must treat business as business and respect time. Change begins with me.
Thank you, sir. I am sorry. Can we go for the meeting now?
Later.
Change begins with me. Change.
Move this car now. The red light won't kill you. Move now.
To the disobey traffic law, they cause accidents. Me, I don't talk, say, I no go dey do them again because change begins with me.
Let's cross the other side of the road.
I will no longer endanger my life crossing the express. Instead, I will use the bridge because change begins with me.
Oga driver, stop this bus now, won't come down. I
Abi one carry me pass where I dey go.
Make I dey stop anyhow for road, dey cause traffic wahala and accidents. So I go dey stop for the right bus stop because change begins with me.
Change begins with me.
Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
You're a zebra.
Hear the call.
Obeying traffic laws help prevent accidents and loss of lives.
Change is here.
Change begins with me.
Change begins with you. Oh yeah.
Jennifer, don't tell me you're still looking for chapters for your expo.
What expo? I'm reading to pass.
Yeah, right.
I beg, we all know even if you study, the surest way to graduate in this school is to do a rejo.
Or better still, we even be lecturers, Abby.
No, that's a thing of the past. I would not get a certificate I cannot defend. I would not be a burden to the nation or the society by fixing or buying certificates. That does not add value to my life. This is the era of change, and change begins with me.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogeruola.
I am Charles Dozier. I am the future of this nation. Therefore, I will not cheat during exams.
My name is Zainab Lawal. I am a student. I am the pride of this nation. Therefore, I won't sell my body for marks.
I am Goodness Ojo. I no go do Yahoo Yahoo or 419 again. It dey spoil the name of our country.
My name is Sade Fortune, a fashion designer. I now use local fabrics for all my designs. This will help to revive our textile industry and boost our economy.
Change begins with me. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Anywhere you are, turn on the light.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the few that the time allotted to us will permit. It's a multimedia campaign in every language, in every major language, and it actually spans over every sphere of life. Your Excellency, Mr. President, my name is Lai Mohammed. I'm a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Change begins with me.
He is leading by example. Can we give him a very changed round of applause? Looking through the multimedia material, I found out that a lot of our Nollywood stars and music stars have donated their talents and gifts to drive the process. And one of such music stars amongst us here today who has changed the face of music, an entertainer, a performer, one of the best singers on our continent. From a family of musicians, his father, late Art Alade, used to be one of the finest in the country. To present and perform live the official campaign jingle, Dare Art Alade.
In Nigeria, change begins with you and me, Nigerians. Change begins with you and me, my people. Oh, connect can do it better. Let's come together, we'll change. Change begins with you and me, Nigerians. Change begins with you and me, my people. Oh, governments can do it alone. Let's come together for change. It's time to change this contempt for corruption. Time to spread and dedication starts from you and me. Time to spread job to government can do it alone. They cannot do it alone, no. Begins with you and me, Nigerians. Change begins with you and me, my people, oh. Governments can do it alone. Let's come together for change. Are you ready? Change begins with you. Change begins with me. Change begins with you. Change begins with me. Change begins with you and me, Nigerians. Change begins with you and me, my people, oh. Governments can do it alone. Let's come together for change. Come on, everybody, let me hear you say, change begins with me. Your Excellency, thank you very much, sir.
That is vintage Dare. Thank you very much. He has had cause to take his music virtually all over the world. And every time we see him on stage, we are very proud of you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Give it to him if I think he deserves it. Thank you. But one line from the music that touched me was that we cannot do it alone. Nigeria, 170 million people, 774 local government areas, amazing, warm, talented people. To change, we cannot do it alone. And one woman who understands this is the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Information. I'd like to welcome her, Mrs. Ayotunde Adesua.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my Lord, the Chief Justice of the Federation, other Excellencies here present, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, as a nation, we begin to look introspectively to see how we can change the way we do things so that we can advance to achieving the nation that we desire. It is incontrovertible that the onus of bringing the desired change lies squarely in our hands. This formal launch of the National Reorientation Campaign tagged Change Begins With Me is truly a significant and landmark event. It is particularly important because it affects each and every one of us. We are the change that we seek. And if we all commit to it, we will redefine our nation. The impact will be astounding, and it will reverberate positively throughout the nation and beyond. There could be no better time than now to open this new chapter and undertake the collective journey of national value reorientation. We therefore wish to express sincere and deep gratitude to His Excellency the President for accepting to preside over this event despite his very busy schedule. We thank you, Your Excellency. We would like to thank the very distinguished members of the National Assembly as we rely on our lawmakers to sponsor and speedily pass bills that promote civic responsibility. The Change Begins With Me campaign is expected to cascade to other tiers of government. The presence of state governors at this gathering is therefore truly appreciated. It reaffirms your support for this campaign as you take the message to your various states. I want to take a moment to especially appreciate and recognize the energy, zeal, and commitment of the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who has deployed a lot of energy to ensure the success of today's event. We also sincerely thank all honorable ministers here present, our highly esteemed royal fathers and traditional rulers, the custodians of our spiritual and cultural patrimony. Your presence at this occasion is immensely appreciated. Appreciation also goes to other top government functionaries and Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps. We say a heartfelt thank you to captains of industries and members of the organized private sectors, various associations, professional bodies who are here today. The campaign is for all sectors of society, so thank you for your presence. This address would be incomplete if I do not recognize the NYC members and students here today. You are the future. Thank you for coming. To the gentlemen of the fourth estate of the realm, we owe you infinite gratitude. We implore you to take the lead in this campaign by creating awareness and being an integral part of the reorientation. I would like to thank everyone who has contributed in making today's event a success, and thank each and every one of you for honoring this event with your presence. The future depends on what we do in the present. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to end by saying the ideals we see in others that we cherish, we have this in ourselves. The beautiful, the orderly, the progressive nation we want to live in is possible if we all, one by one, look inwards and change those things that we do that prevent us from realizing our vision. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, as the message of this campaign begins to sink into my consciousness, I am confident anew that out of the ashes of defeat and despondency, a great nation is emerging. So today we celebrate a new dawn. Today we embark on a new journey. Today we cuddle a new promise. Today we swim in the pool of joy. Today we clothe ourselves in the apparel of hope. And one man who's leading the war of this change is a man that I will call the Field Marshal and Commander-in-Chief of the Change Forces. I'd like to welcome here my President and President of Nigeria. Please welcome as I welcome His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Please sit down. Chief Justice of the Federation, Your Excellency, the governors present here, distinguished senators, honorable members of the House of Representatives, and members of the House of Assemblies, honorable ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, heads of paramilitary present here, religious leaders, royal fathers, captains of industry, chief executives of media houses, invited guests, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to this important occasion of the launching of the national orientation campaign called Change Begins With Me. Nigeria today is passing through a challenging moment where hardly anything works in a normal manner. Many have attributed this phenomenon to the total breakdown of our core values over the years. It is safe to say today that honesty, hard work, godliness have given way to all kinds of manifestations of lawlessness and degeneration in our national life. This is why we have among our cardinal objectives change, which implies the need for a change of attitude and mindset in our everyday life. I need not mention the serious efforts we have engaged in since the inception of this administration on the fight against corruption in our public life. With the progress, we feel the need to ensure that we put in place the necessary sustainable framework for action and measures that will help to entrench and consolidate the progress achieved so far. This, we believe, can best be maintained through attitudinal change and the change for our mindset in private and public life. The campaign we are about to launch today is about the need for us to see change not merely in terms of our economic, social progress, but in terms of our personal behavior on how we conduct ourselves, engage our neighbors, friends, and generally how we relate with the larger society in a positive and definitive way and manner that promotes our common good and common destiny. Change at home, change in the workplace, change at traffic junction, change at traffic lights, etc. This campaign is part of the determination of our party to seek to carry Nigerians along on the journey to a better and greater society that we can call and be proud of. There is no doubt that our value system has been badly eroded over the years. The long-cherished and time-honored, time-tested virtues of honesty, integrity, hard work, punctuality, good neighborliness, abhorrence of corruption, and patriotism have given way in the main to dishonesty, intolerance, indolence, unbridled corruption, and widespread impunity. The resultant effect of this derailment in our value system is being felt in the social political, and economic sphere. It is the reason that some youth will take to cultism and brigandage instead of studying hard or engaging in decent living. It is the reason that some elements will break pipelines and other oil facilities, thus robbing the nation of much needed resources. It is the reason that money belonging to our commonwealth will be brazenly stolen by the same public officials to whom they were entrusted. It is the reason why motorists drive through red traffic lights. It is the reason that many will engage in thuggery and vote stealing during elections. It is part of what has driven our economy into deep problems, out of which we are now working hard to extricate ourselves. Every one of us must have a change from our old days of doing things. We cannot fold our arms and allow things to continue the old way. We must resist the temptation to fall back on the same partisanship, pettiness, and immaturity that have poisoned our country for so long. Let us summon a new spirit of responsibility, spirit of service, of patriotism, and sacrifice. Let us all resolve to pitch in and work hard and look after not only ourselves, but one another. What the current problem has taught us is that we cannot have a thriving army of rent seekers and vested interests while the majority suffers. Rather than sit back and complain endlessly, we have decided to act pragmatically with the launch of the National Reorientation Campaign. The campaign will not be a sprint, but a marathon that will run the course of our tenure. We are under no illusion that the changes we seek will happen overnight. But we have no doubt that the campaign will help restore our value system and rekindle our nationalistic fervor. I am therefore appealing to all Nigerians to be part of this campaign. Our students must realize that the change they want to see begins with them, and that personal and social reforms are not theoretic exercise. If you have not seen the change in you, you cannot see it in others, or even the larger society. In other words, before you ask, where is the change they promise us? You must first ask, how far have I changed my ways? What have I done to be part of the change for the greater good of society? While the government will drive the change begins with me campaign, it must be strongly supported by all concerned individually. In this regard, the private sector is a major stakeholder. Indeed, when the campaign succeeds, it will on the private sector. A punctual, diligent, and hard-working staff can only be of benefit of not just himself or herself or the organization they work for, but to various governments, whether at local, state, or federal level. While congratulating the stakeholders, especially a Ministry of Information and Culture. Excuse me. And the National Orientation Agency for conceiving this campaign. I charge all to pursue the campaign with vigor and ensure its sustenance by taking it to all the nook and crannies of this great country, with the aim of getting the buy-in of the old, the young, the rich, the poor, irrespective of gender or other social positions. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, members of the National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to formally launch and hand over the instrument of the change campaign tagged Change Begins With Me to the Honorable Minister for Information and Culture for transmission to all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. Indeed, I say to the glory of Almighty Allah, change begins with me. Thank you all.
It has been passed to him, and he will take this to every Nigerian. Thank you, Mr. President. Can we give him a standing ovation as he steps down, ladies and gentlemen? Announce here that Excellencies the Governors, members of the National Assembly, ministers, heads of agencies and parastatals, our royal fathers, members of the diplomatic corps and service chiefs will have brief refreshment just behind the division here. The rest of us will step to the dome outside and take our refreshment. So, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to close this event, shall we rise now for the national anthem.
I'm on.